we as human beings are storytelling animals. Before, when I was sharing around the limbic part of the brain, the one that communicates in the neocortex, which is the one that you are listening to me now from right now in your brain, that voice, that one, that voice, that one, is driven by story. Story is how we communicated information for eons. It's what our brains are attuned to understanding the world. If I tell you 72%, nothing. 72% of what? The brain wants a story. The brain wants to know the context of that number. We're storytelling animals, our brains are fucking addicted to it. If I tell you once upon a time, I was so lost. I went for a dock walk and all of a sudden I completely lost the orange pegs and it was getting dark. It was like, I don't know, 8 p.m. and it was daylight, it was summer, so it was all right. So still about maybe an hour. Completely lost the pegs. I didn't realize that I'd been walking on my own for, God knows, maybe 45 minutes. What? What happened? What? Our brains are, oh, it was a made up story. Nothing happened. Then I found a deer. Then I rode the deer out. I grabbed it by the antlers and I rode it out of the bush. And then I found my helicopter and I flew home. The end. We are storytelling animals. Constantly, everything. Constantly narration. Every narration in your head is either trying to confirm, create, or dilute a story. Our brain are constantly doing three things. It's deleting, it's generalizing, and it's distorting. Delete, generalize, distort. Now, these three notions are what keeps us sane: deleting, generalizing, and distorting. You may have heard of stereotypes. Stereotypes is our brain generalizing. They're wearing a Hell's Angel t-shirt, they've got buck teeth, they've got a box of Billy Mavs under their arm. They must be a bogan. They're Asian. They must be good at math. That's our brains. Oh, that would have been an easier one to do, Dalaney, that example. Anyway, our brains are constantly generalizing story to save mental capacity, to save brain power. Our brains are constantly deleting elements of a story so it fits our narrative. More on that later. And our brains are constantly generalizing, distorting reality as well. We'll happily see what we don't want to see. So just to prove this, I want you to look around your room now and just look for things that are green. Just look for green things. See green things, green stuff, green things. Now, how many of you generalize, or who generalized? Like you looked at something and go, oh, that's kind of green, I guess, right? That's us generalizing. That's what our brain is just destined to do and constantly doing. And also now, if I ask you to look for red things, okay, look for red things. Red, 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 red. Why didn't our brain see those before when I asked you to look for green things? Because our brain was deleting them. It wasn't part of the story. It wasn't the narrative we were telling ourselves or the question we were asking. Life is a lie. Our brains are fucked. That's the summary of that one. But we're constantly running around the world, deleting, distorting, and generalizing everything we see. And we're deleting, generalizing, and distorting everything we see to fit a story, to fit a narrative that we have already. Say we're running around thinking life is a comedy, we delete, generalize, and distort to ensure everything's funny. Or if we think my life's a tragedy, it's a horror, everything scares us. Traffic lights scare us. People with intense anxiety the narrative, the story they're telling themselves.